welcome to the Solidity Insurance Group team call. My name is Marisa Maggio, and I'm super excited as I have one of my amazing colleagues on the call with me today. We got Clint out of California on with us today. Clint, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for that warm welcome, Reese. I appreciate that. I love your guys' team. It's all familiar faces.
No
I
doubt,
love it. I
right?
love
Right back at you, Clint. I'm like, your team feels like home. So, I appreciate you and your entire group. You guys are amazing. But Clint, for those people out there that maybe haven't had the chance to hear from you or speak with you a whole lot, give us a quick background about yourself, kind of what you were doing before, insurance and what got you into the industry and why Family First Life.
it. All right. So quick background. For Family First Life, I was in the Navy. Got separated 18 years because I smoked weed. Biggest mistake of my life. And then it led me to this. So actually, I was talking to my financial planner as I was getting out. He was like, try to do insurance. Or I was like, what would you recommend doing if I want to get into financial planning? He was like, get your insurance license, get your tax license. I'll teach you how to do that. And then so I ended up getting certified to do taxes and insurance, and ended up being pretty much his. I was there to pretty much scale his business, put processes in place for him to scale his business, track his clients, stuff like that. And so in doing that, I was like, where am I going to get clientele from? The way he got clientele was he'd do their taxes, roll them into annuities, and then, uncover money and then roll them into annuities. Like, where am I going to get clientele from? Uh, Nowhere. I gotta wait for him to get fat and dumb and get full till I, and then that's when I was gonna get my clientele, right? So like, I'm not gonna start a tax firm. Ended up talking to my marriage counselor. She's like, "Oh, you do life insurance." Check out my grandson. He does life insurance too. I looked him up on Facebook, so I couldn't get in contact with him. And then he's sitting there posting he did like $15,000 in like 1 month. I'm like, no way. And started digging into Family First Life a little bit more and just seeing all different walks of life crushing it here. Like just people from everywhere were killing it. And they had the same message. It's like, go to work. You come in here and you work, you can't lose, go to work. And they made it. They used to say that all the time. And then it was like, all right, cool. I can work. I ain't scared of work. I got this. So early on, I was like, I know what I'm capable of. I know I work. I'm not scared. And but early on, it's super hard. It was hard, but here we are.
Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, we all get through it. And I love how, like, it's not funny, but it's ironic how we all kind of fall into this industry in an abnormal way for the most part.
Oh
Because
yeah,
whenever
yeah. Biggest mistake of my life led me to this, and now I'm like, shit.
now you're like, hey,
Like
I mean,
literally.
but like it's your career path, right? Like now you're killing it,
Yeah,
right? Who would
yeah.
have
It's
known?
crazy.
It
Nobody.
is. Hey, Clint. Well, you're crushing it, and I love how you said too, like when you did look up Family First Life, even at that time, you're like, I just saw all different walks of life crushing it. I knew I could work hard. And to be honest, guys, like knowing, like if you know in your heart, like I work hard, like I'm a hard worker. No matter what you've done in life, like you work hard, you want to be the best. Like I wanted to be the best bartender, the best server, right? And some people might be like, that's silly. Well, I wanted to give the best service so I could make the most out of my time and money, right? Like that being said, guys, it's like if you're not scared of work, I've always said this, like this industry is not that scary because you're not scared to just get up and work. So, Clint, I love that. And I love how you also like understood the fact that you weren't just going to walk in the door and someone was going to be like, here's 20 grand. I hope that you have a good start, right? Like that's not what it looked like. So, Clint, kind of being able to see how things have looked like for you and your entire group over the last, I don't know, year or so. It was funny at Ignite, I saw you, and that's where we had met in person for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And it was funny to see 1 year later what things looked like, right? Because it's like, you think I thought back, like at least I did. I thought back to like talking to you in the coffee line a year prior to that. And guys, it's funny what a year can do for somebody, right? So
Crazy.
it's like, I looked at it, I was like, well, Clint's made a lot of strides since then. And just to brag on Clint, because Clint, I know you're not going to be like, I'm an 8-time Hall of Fame producer. Like, guys, Clint has hit Hall of Fame. Is it 8 or 6 times, Clint?
I just hit six again like last week. I found out like 2 days ago. I hit six. Like yeah.
Just
So
six times, guys. So like if you're on this call right now and you're struggling or you're just getting started, like you're on the right call, get a pen and paper and like plug in and hear this out, all right? So Clint, talk to us a little bit about what had you go from kind of being like, more independent, working with just a couple of people to being like, you know what? I'm gonna take this thing by the horns and build a team. Like, what were some of the biggest like motivators or things that you saw in the last, year or so that really pushed you to do that?
so like when I used to go home when I first started, I was like I used to get slammed, like slammed. It sucked really bad. You think this is bad? I'm saying shit. Our leads used to be expensive. We used to drive like I used to work 7 days straight my first year, like no lie. Like 7 days straight, I was working on this from like 5 in the morning till like 11 o'clock at night, trying to learn this stuff. And the leads were super expensive. I used to have to drive around all day long. People would no-show me all day long. I have to go door knock in between, try to set appointments in between, just activity all day long, 24/7. And it was really hard for me to be really profitable. It really was. But I always knew that one day I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure it out. Like I'm going to crack this code sooner or later if I just don't quit. And so for a long time, I wasn't making a whole ton of money. Well, I just locked myself in a room and just started dialing telesales. And even starting telesales was very difficult at first till I can really refine that skill. But then over time, I got pretty refined, like it is in my processes and everything. And I was like, shit, this is pretty easy. I'm making decent money now. Now I can show people a lot quicker too how to be more profitable faster and stuff like that with our Zoom rooms. That's why it's huge. You guys got your Zoom rooms now. You guys got a super solid community. All you guys have to do is listen and replicate exactly what they're doing. We'd go in the house like for months, even years, making tons of mistakes, like forever. You know what I mean? Now you guys can get corrected in like real time, like and adjust fast and become profitable, make money a lot quicker than it took me or anybody else. Like I'm sure you guys have the same stories, Marisa. You and Rami have the same stories. It
Yep.
wasn't that fast where you guys were profitable. Now these guys can get profitable super quick.
It's
And that's why I'm
crazy quick.
excited. Yeah, yeah. So then I was like, all right. So I went to Ignite when I saw you Ignite. And my whole goal there was I was gonna start because I was pretty much just writing by myself. Um, I had coached a team up, a bunch of dudes that were doing pretty good, but they're newer agents and they had higher expectations of where they should be, and they're comparing themselves to me, and they're like, they had higher expectations of where they were at. And that I got these guys writing like 400K, a few guys up to two, three, and four, but they got in their own heads. They had the wrong mindset. They were making mistakes and they're like, oh, it's the system. I'm like, no, you guys are just making mistakes. Learn how to adjust. This is going to get good, but you guys just got to give it some time to kind of figure out where to adjust and not just give up. So I coached a whole room of dudes that weren't even directing me. And I was wondering the whole entire time, like, I'm wasting a lot of time helping these guys. I'm taking money off my table. Like these guys aren't even directing me. So I'm losing money just helping these guys out for free. But in the long run, I was like, that's okay though. In my mind, I was like, I'm learning how to coach people. I'm learning how to train and how to help people. I'm building that muscle. And so those guys were their mindsets were way off. So those guys all pretty much dispersed. And then so I was writing again business by myself. When I went to Ignite that last time when I saw you, Marisa, I was going there to learn to learn IULs. Because that was the big thing is everybody's like IULs, IULs. And I went there to really learn IULs, but and it dawned on me like, fuck, if I start just writing IULs, so I like going on vacation too. I like to fish a lot too, right? So if I stop working and I go fishing, I go on vacation, I'm losing income because I'm the only one producing income. So I'm like, all right, I can't work like this forever. Even though I don't work that much, I don't have to work as hard as I used to. I'm like, all right, next move is to build a team, show other people how to do it, build a team so then I can go on more vacations, so I can go fishing whenever I want to. and not have to worry about income coming in because it's always going to be coming in. And that's when we started building more.
I
Yeah.
love it. And there were so many key things in there that Clint just said. And guys, I think that sometimes, and like to be honest, like again, it goes back to the whole like, I walked to school in the snow with, 7 feet of snow. It's like that's not what I'm trying to say, but what Clint is trying to say is when we were in the home, guys, like we were shooting it blind, basically. It was like, here, watch this video, get your license, watch this video, and like go on in there. And like you're going in there, like you're guys, some of us are scared of the phone. Like we're face to face with these folks, like, hey. I'm Marisa. And in your head, you're like, it's my first day and I got no idea what I'm doing. And you're like, so we're just going to do the best we can. It wasn't like I had Clint in my ear telling me what to do. It's like, so let's use that as a tool, guys, because to Clint's point, some people would just, when we were in the home, it's like either you figured it out or you didn't. It went one way or it went the other, or you were committed to figuring it out. With telesales, guys, I'm not saying that it's any easier. I'm just saying it's a different type of hard, meaning you have so much support around you. You got people literally that will tell you what to say. No one ever, Clint, don't you wish you had that your first year in the home? They were
Yeah.
just like, say this, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like
Yeah.
it's like you're waking up in a Ferrari, guys. And when you can realize that and just start to like actually use it as a like, okay, this is a power for me. And like they don't have to do this, but they want to do it, right? And also how you talked about I worked 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days straight in the field, right? It's like you're not doing that anymore, so to say, but a lot of us think like working the weekends is like, oh my God. It's like, okay, guys, we're self-employed. I love y'all, but if you're not where you want to be, you should be working on Saturday and Sunday. And I'm not telling you you have to work 24 hours a day, but what I am saying is you'll be shocked at the result you get on a Sunday when you call because no one else is calling except you, like and a couple other people who are committed to the process. So as I kind of heard what Clint just said, he's like, hey, I was working a lot in the field. I was determined I was going to figure it out because it's simply just a set of skills. And all I have to realize is where am I tripping over one of those skills and refine it? And like that's what I did too, Clint, right? And like I fell a lot of times, dude, but it's like how many times can you get back up? And then eventually you are like, okay, this is how it goes. And it doesn't feel like that in the first 6 months. Sometimes it doesn't
Mhm.
even feel like that in your first year, right, dude? Like,
Yeah, it
like
took a long time.
it can take some time, but it's like once you know that process, like no one can take that skill away from you. And it's a beautiful thing. So I love to see that. And I love how you're like, okay, like I don't want people who have like a cracked mindset or are gonna blame the leads or are gonna, come up with like, 85 different theories of, what's going on or whatever it might be. Like I want to be around a positive group of people who are working towards a goal. Like, and it looks like that's what y'all are doing now. So I love to see it, Clint. I'm excited for you, but not only you, but for your entire group. You guys are freaking amazing. Um, that being said, too, another thing I saw kind of like, not that you've changed, but that you've implemented is you're posting a lot more on social media. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Call Christina. She's telling me to do that when I first started because she's the one that got me started on posting more to recruit. She's like, just post your numbers. And that's how people are gonna see the proof of concept, right? Is just numbers and just getting more dialed in there. Because I used to hate it. I really hated posting before. Trust me, I've hated. I like Dom told me to get Instagram like 3 years ago. I got it, and it just sat there. And I wish I had done it sooner because I have a massive agency. I would have had that massive agency by now. But it's the beauty of this is it's never too late. No matter where you're at in this industry, it's never too late. It never, like you can start at any time, um, and just get moving, right? So don't be afraid to start. But yeah, it's helped a ton. And now I'm just working with different social media managers to kind of figure out how to refine that skill now, right? So I've
Right.
got the selling part down. Now I just got to work on how do I get the recruiting part down and just slowly work it. And that's the beauty of this is you've got all these resources. Everybody's going to help you. You know what I mean? And you just got to reach out and figure out who to talk to and talk to the right people, not the wrong people, because you can talk
Right.
to the wrong people and they can get you into trouble. And
Oh
just make
yeah.
sure you're talking to people that are where you want to be, you know? Because that's what I love about FFL from the very beginning. From the very beginning, everybody was coaching everybody to win. There wasn't any secrets, and I just knew I just had to come in and work it. Um, back to the schedule thing too, as I remember John Wetmore's talking about even just getting up early, right? If you got up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning compared to somebody who got up at 8 o'clock, right? If you did that 7 days a week, right? That's 21 hours. Like that's a full day awake working. Like you can't even compete with that. You know what I mean? Like a full days of work getting stuff done. So that's when I used to lock in on my schedule and just remember like there's nothing where there's nobody special here, right? And all I have to do is work it. I can do that. And so just keep that in mind.
I love that. And also, Clint, I love how you were openly just like, dude, like I didn't want to post on social media. Like I
Yeah.
didn't want to do it. Like I was like why? Like basically, but like you said, it's never too late. To your point, it's 100%. Like guys, if you're on here and you're not posted, it's like it be clear, it's not too late. It's just but Clint, if you don't mind me asking, why didn't you want to post on social media?
Okay. So I'll tell you. Yeah, I should tell you guys. Okay. So it's a long story, actually. It comes from my childhood. All right. So, my dad used to do he's a massive MLM guy. Like he would always be trying to sell friends and family, and I hated that shit. I never wanted to sell anything in my life ever. Never wanted to use my warm market. You never you want to use my friends to sell them anything, and that's what I felt like I would be doing if I did that. And so I mean, that's the whole reason why my parents didn't split up because my dad was dropping all of our money towards MLM things, and then my mom was like, "You got 5 kids to feed. Get your ass to work." And so that's why they split up, right? And so that was my biggest hesitancy with social media and stuff like that. And Sean would always say it all the time, like, "Dude, you have a gift to help people pull themselves out of all kinds of crazy situations. Why not share that stuff, you know, and get out of your head, stop caring what people think, and just do it, right?" And then just in years and years of that, like, fine, fuck, gotta do it, gotta do it, gotta do it.
Right.
But,
It eventually
so
clicks though,
it,
right?
it needs a click, yeah. So now starting to get a lot of warm market reaching out, people reaching out and wondering what we're doing, how do we do it, how we get started, you know, and just going to constantly build on that, and it's going to continue to grow. And
No doubt.
yeah,
And thanks for sharing that story because like everyone's reason why is like a little bit different and like you said it's never too late and like you woke up and you're like, "You know what? Like I'm just going to do it makes sense." And now it makes sense to me, so I'm just going to rock it. Like you said, it's that new skill you require and we all work on it every single day, right? So
yeah. I don't know
I
if you ever
love
even
that.
remember. I used to do gym posts in the morning at like 4:30 in the morning of me just one muscle, just flexing one arm, and my wife's like, "You need a new post." And I'm like, "You know why I do that shit? Is because I'm just building that muscle. Do you know how much I hate doing this shit? A
Right.
lot." But
Yep.
I'm doing it just to build the muscle, to get me familiar with doing it, and I hate it. How else am I
But
gonna get good at it? By just doing stuff I hate. You know what I mean?
100%. And that post at 4:30 held you accountable to post, right? You're
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah,
got to post, right? Or I wasn't there, It's so I love that.
yeah,
And you talked a little bit about kind of like, prior you had some people within your group that kind of had the wrong mindset, wrong attitude about the business. And it seems like now you're working with a group who kind of has a great attitude and are working collectively together to be better in the business. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. Um, Talk to us a little bit about what you mean when you're saying like the wrong mindset. Because, Clint, I think people who haven't been around the industry for even like, at least 2, 3 years, they don't always get what that means. And sometimes they don't even have the opportunity to because the wrong mindset walks them out the door. So like when you say wrong mindset, like what does that mean like to you?
Is it's everybody else's fault. The reason why I'm not succeeding, they're hanging up on me because they're too broke, they're too sick, whatever excuse we have, right? Um, the leads suck. They said that they're not interested. They just filled out. They said they're not interested. The leads suck. Um, yeah, that type of stuff, right? Like everything, everything is back on me. Why did I fail? Where did I lose? Why did I lose? And there is no way um, that I believe that these guys put in their names, birthdays, beneficiaries' names, emails, phone numbers, addresses, and that they don't want insurance for a second, right? Um, like, and so it's up to me to figure out how do I help them? Where did I go wrong? What did I say? What did I do? Where do I adjust? Every time. It doesn't matter what they say to me at what point. I'm like, where did I lose them? Where do I adjust? You know,
I, right?
looking
I,
at,
like instead of
yeah,
like them or
yeah,
you or we or whatever, it's I, like self-reflect. Like if you don't close, you're like, what could I have done better? Is that
yeah,
fair?
100%. Every time. Yeah, every
Right.
time. I'll sit there and just mow it over my head. Like, where did I lose them? What do I do?
Right.
How do I adjust? How to make sure that it doesn't happen? Sometimes I do stuff like I do the wrong stuff. That's stuff I know I shouldn't be doing. I'm like, fuck,
Right.
that's where I lost them. That was my
Yeah.
fault.
Right.
Sometimes like, all right, I did everything I could. It is what it is. It's just not today, but
Right.
having that accountability and just understanding we're learning, it's not always going to be peaches and cream and like rainbows and butterflies. You're learning this stuff. It's a lot of stuff to take in, right? And give yourself some grace because it's a lot of stuff. But when you start just take it one step at a time, refine it here, get better here, and pretty soon it's like you're unstoppable. But it t just takes a minute, and some people quit before they get there.
That part.
Yeah, they're just like it's really just you got to keep moving forward. What you learned up to now, you didn't lose it. Just keep going. You're not going to be any worse than you were today. You know, like a 1% better. I love that stuff because it's the way I look at everything is always getting better. Whatever that sucked, don't do that again. Oh, that
Right.
sucked. Don't do that again. Like, where do we
You still
adjust?
take it as a teaching moment.
Yeah, everything, every time. Yeah, every time. Because if not, it
Absolutely.
can be defeating. It'll be defeating, you know?
Right. You'll walk your way out.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll go talk to everybody who's like the
You're
leads
right.
suck. You'll join the lead suck community, and then like
Yeah,
it's like, and guys, like all jokes aside, like I've seen some incredible people come into this business, Clint, and I'm sure you have too. And then they start talking to, and I call it a cancer. And to be honest, it's like if you're going to be in the business, be in the business. If you're going to talk negatively about the business, like see your way out respectfully, because it's like no one needs that in this type of environment, flat out like that. And the second you start following a cancer, like you're gonna get it too. So it's like,
yeah,
guys, if you fall into that trap of, someone's like, oh, well, the leads are this, the leads or like so and so, and you become like the drama. Like you can't become that in this industry. You're gonna literally walk yourself out the door and you're gonna blame everybody, to Clint's point, on your way out. When you can start taking accountability and being like, okay, what could I have done better? Even if you're a brand new agent and you're getting feedback, sometimes, like, guys, some of us will take it like personally. It's like, hey, like, I got the same objection or rebuttal at one point in time, and like, I'm just trying to help you out. And like, so as long as you guys can understand, like, hey, like, surround yourself with the right people, make a schedule and stick to it, and realize this is going to be something you're learning and we're all learning. And it's just like any other muscle. If you don't work it, it's not gonna grow. If you work it, it's gonna grow. But that's up to you how fast or slow you're doing that. So that's huge. And guys, I've just seen way too many people that could be amazing at this or that have come back into the industry. And it's like that cancer was the person that or thing that kind of got them out. So if you see yourself becoming part of that crowd, it's not the it crowd, it's not the profitable crowd, it's not the crowd that's making money, it's the crowd that's going to walk you out the door. So may as well just walk out the door and figure and go from there respectfully. Um, that being said, Clint, you talked a bit about this, like, in terms of like long-term, freedom, right? You long like that's what we're looking for. Like to me, like wealth is time and money, right? Like wealth is I
Yeah.
got time and I got money. And then, that being said, in this industry, it's like that means you have other people that you helped have time and money too, right? But we all got to work our way up to that. Now, how important is it to you, Clint, to stay like consistent with what you say you're going to do? Like if you say you're going to do something, like your schedule says ABC, like what's the only way you're not sticking to it? Like have you done some things to maybe like trick your brain into like running the schedule? Like talk to us a little bit about like the importance of like consistency equaling a result.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because this is so our cells are so inconsistent, right? We can't control those, but we can control our schedule. For instance, like we can control our schedule. So when I'm whatever my schedule is, I'm sticking to it. There's nothing that's going to take me away from that because I know that's the only thing in this day that I can control. And then how fast I hit send. Whether I get hung up on banking, whether they no show me, all that stuff, I can't control. But I can control how much time I'm here and how much and what I'm doing during those hours. You know what I mean? And so I'll be set from like 7:15 in the morning till anywhere from 4 to 7 o'clock at night. And then if because my wife is she goes to yoga every night at like 7:15. It drives me nuts. I'm like, I can work till 8. I can work till 8. But so then I got until 7:15 and then I'll dial up until 6:15 because I can close in about 45 minutes. If I don't close until if I dial all the way up till 7:15, because my guys will hear me like I'm down. I got 2 more minutes. I got 10 minutes. I'm down to this time. If I don't get anybody on between then I got administrative stuff I can knock out in between then. Or like before the Zoom, right? I dial until a certain time. If I catch somebody, I catch somebody. If I don't, then I've got administrative stuff in between. I'm not going, taking a nap, relaxing. I'm working. This is the
Right.
job, and but I can control my schedule.
Absolutely. And when you can switch it that way, like you're in a powerful place. Like, okay, this is my job. I control my schedule, but that means I have to follow my schedule because it's my job, right? And like,
Yeah,
guys, there's a lot of power in that. And when you can actually sit down and follow your schedule, even if for a week, even if you don't get the result you want in the business, how much you've worked that muscle in the business is a lot more than you would have. So 10 to 1 says that, it's going to pan out that next week, but you have to keep going and following the schedule. Clint, being that you've hit Hall of Fame 6 times now, have you ever had a day where, or like a week where you just like couldn't close, like no one, you just couldn't, like it
yeah,
just
yeah. It
wasn't
happens all.
happening?
Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens more often than you think it does, really. And so, like, sometimes I'll have like 3K weeks, and I remember my first time I had that, I was like shitting myself. I was like, oh my God. And it was like probably like a year in or something like that. And I was like panicking. And my upline at the time was like, dude, like, you know how to sell insurance, dude. Like, relax. But I was panicking. But then the John Wentworth thing, it just made me realize your average, right? Your average is your averages. So like at the time, my average was like probably like $1,200 a policy. Close ratio was like a 60%. That's when I was going in home. And so then it just dawned on me that it's like it doesn't matter how shitty my week was. Doesn't matter. As long as I stay consistent with my schedule, nothing matters. My average is my average. My average AP is my average AP. My average close ratio is my average close ratio. I just got to work through it, and everything will be fine. So there's no need to panic. But yeah, I used to panic all the time. Now
Right.
I can get shit on for like days. I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm here from this time to this time. I'm happy. So then such a freeing moment. That was such a freeing moment for me to understand that as long as
Yes.
I put in the work, it doesn't matter what happens.
Right.
My averages are gonna be my averages. Just do it, you know?
100%. 100%. And I know I have those days too where I'm like, okay, I'm like, I don't know what's going on today, but I know it's me. But like we'll figure it out because I showed up, I'm doing my thing, I'm doing the best I can. But guys, like no matter how good you are or how bad you are, you're gonna have days you show and you're like, what happened? You know, and you're gonna have or a week, you're like, what's going on? But you keep playing those numbers, like you can't beat the numbers and the numbers can't beat you. So to Clint's point, you know your averages or over time you will, and they'll only get better as you move. But like just knowing that, it's always like a peace of mind to me. Like Clint, like you said, I used to like be like, oh my God, I can't sell insurance. And then like I'll be like, dude, like you can definitely sell insurance. Like you're having like a bad, like not a bad, you're just, it's a weird week. It's an off week and that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't even call it bad anymore. I'm like, here we are, you know what I mean? Like it's the week. And I'm like, but the funny thing is, Clint, is it fair to say that usually the following weeks you just kind of like laugh and you're like, huh,
I,
right?
all the time. If I do, I laugh about it. Like whatever. I'm here
Yeah,
from
and
here,
then
from here to here.
right, and then before you know it, you're going 10 for 10, right? Like the next
Yeah.
day or the
Yeah.
next week,
Yeah.
right? Like, no one
Yeah.
will say no to you. You're like, damn, I got all these appointments, and no one will say no, right? So it's like, guys, like just show up, get it done, and like again, find your averages, but you're only gonna find that through numbers and through working. And Clint, one thing I did want to ask you because like you have agents that are not only coming in, but they're coming in, they're making a splash, and I love to see it. Talk to us a little bit about what maybe your expectation is for, an agent coming in terms of like an activity goal. Do you work off of like, or talk to us a little bit about that in terms of like a daily goal or,
It's really just being on Zoom all day long. That's
yep,
really it. A meeting as much as possible, like off mute, like try to set that standard. We're always off mute so we can help because everybody's learning.
right,
And it's not just the new agent. And then so like everybody's learning in the Zoom room. We say the exact same stuff. So I may be coaching Connor, but then Peely's learning or vice versa, right? Even when I was coaching, I'm learning too. Keeps me
exactly.
accountable too. And then that's how we're really effective. It's crazy how like yeah, these guys are pretty effective. You guys are killer. And
No
yeah,
doubt. So it's like, guys, like show up, make the calls, right, Clint? Like just dial, like, right? And it's like you're bound to get in front of people, but if you don't come off mute, like no one can help you. Like I wish I could
yeah,
have came off mute in the house, Clint. Like,
yeah.
people would have been like,
You see Rami walking Bree through a cell. You know what I mean? And
right, which like
Bree's just so it's just crazy to me, right? That you can do that and that you don't want that kind of help because it happens all the time. But you just gotta put yourself out there and not care what everybody's thinking, you know? Like it's hard, but who else is gonna pay Bree's bill? Bree.
right, no doubt. And it's like,
Who else is gonna pay my bills? Me.
right.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
Right.
You
And that's
know?
I'm like, and it's applicable all around, right, guys? So it's like that being said, like even if someone is thinking something about it's like Clint, has anybody ever came off mute and you were like, I don't believe this person's off mute. I don't believe it. Like, no, you're like a good like they good thing they came off mute. Like that's normal. Like
Yeah.
guys, it's
I love
weird
it
when you
because
don't.
you're gonna grow so fast. You're gonna grow so much faster if you can put yourself out there.
A
And
hundred
that's why I
percent.
like
And
it.
yeah, especially in the telesales world, it's like you have one of two options. Come off mute or act like you're in the home. And then come to me with 87 reasons as to what happened that week and how you don't know how to figure it out. But we were all on Zoom together, but we didn't hear you even one time unmute. Guys, like that's when things can become problematic. Not for me, not for Clint, not you know what I mean, not for you. Like be for you. Because if we don't know what you're saying, also what can happen, and it's happened, I've done it in this business, Clint. You keep saying the wrong thing and it's messing the person up and you're losing the sale in the first quarter. And you don't even know you're losing it in the first quarter because you have nobody correcting you. Until that one day after 3 months you come off mute and then finally somebody's like, you shouldn't address, you should just say, hi, Rami. You shouldn't be like, hi, Mr. Hamadi. Is this Mr. Hamadi? Like, that's making or breaking a sale, guys. And when you can understand it's that small, it's like, just come off mute. Just come off mute. So it's like, Clint, you got your guys on. Y'all are all plugged in together. Like you said, learning together, which is so important. Because if you can teach one person something, why not teach everybody that's listening something, right? And also, you coming off mute, you, Clint, as an example, coming off mute is helping everybody else see, like, Clint's not perfect. Clint just works. Clint works his schedule. So if I work my schedule, it's probably going to have the same effect over time, right? So it's
Yeah, no, I love telling my guys every time I get hung up on or I lose on my banking. I'm like, yeah, yeah, lost my banking.
right,
Got hung up on, and they can hear it, so it's not just me always winning. You know what I mean?
right.
Like I
Yeah,
lose too all the time.
they see the lose the losses and the wins, right?
Yeah,
And,
all
and
day
guys, it's
long.
like get good at hearing no. Like, because not everyone's going to tell you yes. And like, that's okay. Get used to being rejected. It's like now, like at this point, like when I get rejected, it's like I don't feel it. But guys, like you're on the phone. Like me and Clint used to have people be like, no, leave. I don't even get it. I don't even know what you just said. But you can leave. You've been here for 40 minutes. So please leave, right? It's like now you have that direct coaching in your ear. So it's like, guys, just utilize the Zoom rooms, just like Clint, you and your guys are. And I love seeing it. Outside of that, I mean, it seems like you're wrapping up like a really exciting year for you and your group, which is awesome to see. What are some of your goals wrapping up 26, and going into, 27? I'm 25 and going into 26. Look at me
I'd
jumping
love
ahead.
to do. I'd love to do a million a month by next year, by the end of next year. This
Hey,
hopefully I get to. I want to get to 300. I hit 200 like last month, which is crazy to me.
let's
Which
go. That's awesome.
yeah, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. So if I can get to 300 this year, that's
You
probably
will. Y'all are
yeah,
running, so I'm not betting against you.
yeah. That's the goal.
Love to
Then
hear it. And
a
then a
million a
million a
month
month next year.
next year. I can do it.
Yeah. I think y'all will be at
Gotta
a
get the
million a month.
recruiting.
I think y'all will be at a million a month in March, but I don't know. I just like to guess on things. So we'll see if I'm right, Clint.
That's
I
tough.
think I'm going to be right.
That's
But
tough.
aside from that, anything you'd like to leave for maybe like somebody who's in a sales rut or is a brand new agent on this call, any just piece of advice or words of wisdom you'd like to leave them with today?
My favorite thing for anybody, and even for me, I wish I had really got good at the objection handling because I overspent on leads because I really sucked at objection handling. That's what I was talking about everybody about because that's going to get you into everything else. But if you can't get good at that, it's everything else on why it doesn't work. You can't get anywhere. You can't even get into the script. You got a script to read. Ryan's gonna tell you exactly what to say. Get in there, but you can't get in there unless you overcome the objections at the very beginning. That's like the hardest piece. To me, I feel like it's the hardest piece because that opens every door. But if you can't open that door, we're not going anywhere. We can't refine a script. We can't refine your objection handling or your quoting and all that other stuff. So it starts with the objection handling. And don't give up. Like if I could do it, shoot. If I can do it, you can do it. I promise.
No doubt. And I love that, guys. It's like getting familiar with objection handling too, just so like, right, Clint, tell me if I'm wrong. It doesn't mean being able to overcome an objection 100% of the time. It just
Yeah.
means being able to know what to say when you
Ready.
hit
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking to my guys. Like, even if they get hung up on, I'm like, all right, you had the right word track. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Did you say the right word track when it applied? That's all I care about. Cool, you got hung up on. Whatever. Keep it moving. Did you say the right thing? That's it. That's all that matters. And then you
Right.
may catch one or two. What if you catch one or two a day like that and you bring them
Yeah.
to a close? Like it's a wrap.
Yeah.
So
That's like an additional like 5 to 6 grand on the week. Never mind on the month. Like, so that's a big deal, guys. So I love that, Clint. Like, get
yeah,
good with your objections and rebuttals, if you will, and going over those. And like honestly, like, I role play with myself. Like I'll look in the mirror, guy. I till this day, and I've been doing this for a decade. Like till this literal day. And it's like because it just registers with my brain that much. So it's like whatever is gonna help you get there, do it. Whether that's repetition, whether that's just picking up the phone and doing it and getting the feedback right then and there and saying the same thing. But like whatever's gonna get you to be able to overcome the objections to get into the conversation is the key. So I love that, Clint. I appreciate you, your entire group, and especially your time today. So thank you so much for carving out some time for us today. I really appreciate you.
yeah,
It was
no
an
worries.
amazing
Appreciate
call.
you guys. Let's take care.
See,